Okay, so just wanted to say thank you for helping me with my assignment. And just as you read in the consent form that you signed, this is not a actual therapy session. It's just to help me practice with my clinical skills. And if there are any questions that you don't feel comfortable with answering, you're not obligated to answer. So with that being said, we're going to start with the assessment questions, and this is what an assessment would look like if you were to access therapy. Okay, so here we go. So how old are you?
28.
And what gender do you identify with?
Male.
What is your marital status?
Um, Legally single, but in a relationship.
Okay. What is your sexual orientation?
Straight.
Okay. What is your socioeconomic status?
Um, middle class.
Okay. What are your living arrangements? So, where do you live? Do you live by yourself, with your family?
I rent an apartment. My partner, I guess.
Are you currently employed?
I do independent contracting work.
So, what are some of your academic accomplishments?
Um, Nothing on paper. Soon to be web developer. As far as academics go, everything I've done my whole life is uh, through myself. So
Okay. And you're going back to school for web developing, you said? What is that process like?
um, pretty straightforward. You enroll and then you go through other courses. It gives you an estimated time and when you would finish. So it's anywhere from 4 months to 9 months.
What do you do in web
You
development?
learn the language coding, and throughout that process, you do in between 9 and 12 real world projects,
Mhm.
which you can use in your portfolio once you start actually um, applying for jobs.
So you build websites.
A bunch of random things.
Okay.
You critique certain websites. You
It's interesting.
analyze and figure out what's wrong with the website or a certain application.
Oh,
You
okay.
build applications and websites.
That's cool. Sounds hard.
Everything under the sun.
Okay, so what are your current problems? Why are you here today? What's an issue that the particular issue that's bothering you? What's
The
going on?
issue today, I have a bunch of issues, but the main today is just trying to stay afloat with my financial situations. So that's where I'm at right now.
Okay. Um, so how severe do you think the situation is?
It's different every day.
So it's
Some days are
is
good, some
it
days are bad.
so some days are more severe than others,
Yeah.
basically.
Some days I have more bills come up, made less money that week. The way I work right now, the situation is I get paid for every task that I do.
Mm,
So each day is its own payroll.
okay, so that's interesting. Do you feel like the situation is affecting your life in any way?
It's just hard. It's a paycheck to paycheck situation where you don't really know what's going to come. It could, your car could break down and you're screwed.
Okay. So do you think there are any like risky situations, anything at risk coming from this issue?
A lot of people would say the alcoholism could
I'm
spark
talking
up.
about your financial issues. Like, is there anything risky coming from there?
Just
Like, is there anything at risk because of the
just
situation?
obvious things like rent,
Mm-hmm.
rent and bills.
Okay. Are you currently using any alcohol or drugs?
It was, and then I just stopped. So
You were
sober.
using what?
I was experiencing alcoholism for
Okay.
a while. I don't know exactly how long, but it was enough.
And you used to drink it now?
No, but
How long have you been sober?
15 months, 16 months. I try not to think about it so much.
It's interesting. About drinking or being sober?
Just everything about it. The more I think about it, I'm just the less I think about just it as a whole, the more I could sort of I don't know. A lot of the times when I think about it too much, it becomes more of a craving rather than like a willingness to keep doing what I'm doing. Like I just rather, like if I'm not doing it anymore, why am I going to keep thinking about it all day long?
Okay.
I'd rather fill my brain with other things.
Okay. That's kind of a cool way to look at it. Do you feel like this substance, the alcohol issue, kind of overlapped with the whole financial issue, or like in the past? Because you said that you're not.
I started. What really sparked the alcoholism was when I hurt my back. I couldn't really walk or work or do anything. And I was bedridden for however many months until I can be healed enough to even function properly. And so being introduced to drinking even on a regular basis, like a regular amount, was the only thing that was enjoyable that I could access still and do. And so I just got used to that was what I did for fun until I healed. And it became such a routine that it was just, even when I was walking again and things like that, it was just in my routine.
Okay. So, do you have contact with your family, mom, dad, siblings, any relatives?
Yeah, it's all great with the family. There's no issues.
So you have, so you basically have good relationships with your mom and dad?
Yeah, it's always been good.
Okay. So, do you have any contact with them? Like, how often do you speak to your mom and dad?
Probably speak to my mom the most. My dad. I speak to my dad more about things, more important things, not just like, hi, what's up? What did you do today?
Mm-hmm.
More about serious things. I need help. Although it's the same sort of relationship where there's no bad blood or anything. That's good.
And do you have siblings?
One brother.
Mm-hmm. Do you have contact with them?
It's exactly the same. It's like when we talk, it's like we never stopped, but there was a lot of time where we don't. But it's not because we don't want
But
to.
you have a good relationship overall. Okay. Do you feel like your relationship problems have like a negative contribution to your financial issues?
With my family? No.
Okay.
None of my issues are stemmed from the family.
Okay. So what is something you like to do for fun, or if I were to ask you something that you do well, what do you do well? Like,
It used to be music, but that's like the way I liked to do music is sort of it's just really hard to find time when you need to pay bills and things and stay afloat. Like it's become um, just too much of a time waster. I'm still interested in it, but can't spend like 6 hours a day doing that with it. And I know I would if I did. So I don't know.
so you would spend the 6 hours if you sit down and.
Yeah, I sit down.
So what is it that you do
I
with
can't
music?
just sit down and play the guitar and for like half an hour. I would have like an idea and I'd go on the computer, load up my recording software, and I would have to try something out, and then the idea would build, and then it would just be it would always turn into this huge thing.
Okay. And you don't play guitar anymore, or?
I would sort of have to relearn a little bit. Like we haven't played for so long, muscle memory and everything isn't there anymore.
How long has it been since you played?
A few years. It's also been like a break because I've been doing music full time for well over 10 years.
Wow. And you were good at it.
It was enjoyable.
And you felt like you did well.
Yeah, I guess.
All right. So, what's something that you would say motivates you and keeps you going every day? Like, well, like it's like when people say like, you wake up and you're like, you think about that one, that's something that you're like, yes, I want like to go and get this, or this motivates me, this makes me happy. Like, what is it that you wake up and feel like motivates
I guess my
you?
relationship right now, you could say my family, my girlfriend and my two cats.
So your relationships.
I'm a huge factor in if we all have enjoyable lives or not, depending on what I do.
Okay. Like you mean all of your relationships?
No, my past relationships don't really.
No, I'm talking about like your family relationships and your romantic.
My family's not too involved in my daily life, so it's not really a big deal with that.
Okay. So your relationships is what motivates you, basically. The relationships you have with your family and your partner.
Right now,
yeah. Okay. So, regardless of like you're having this issue with like your finances and stuff, and with common that we all come across like issues, and sometimes it's hard to like like keep on going, or like continue to work on it. So what do you feel, how do you continue to move forward despite your problem or your issue that you're having?
Because it's a lot of the issue is self-inflicted, I guess, I don't know the right word. And it's also possible to come out of. So I wake up every day and there's this huge problem. I owe so much money, but so does millions of other people right now, and they find a way, and so can I.
So you're motivated by knowing that the problem is like
I'm